Hey there and welcome back. So today's video will be going out into the black zone so we can track how much silver, combat fame, favor, and might we make per hour. I'll be doing this on a character that has no premium to try and get the most accurate amount as possible. Now if you do have premium, you can expect to average a bit more. Before we jump into the video, make sure to join the Discord community where we have players from NA, EU, and Asia, and I give away 30-day premiums every 2 weeks. Also to make sure to follow on twitch.tv/DonnyGGs. If you want to catch me live, not only will I have drops available, but you can earn channel points to redeem either 7 or 30-day premium. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the video. Now before we head out and get started, I'll be breaking down the build I enjoy when it comes to solo farming out in the black zone. So let's take a look at it here. So the weapon of choice is a druidic staff. It's a nature staff pretty much. It provides a lot of sustain for you here with Spiritual Seed, which you can pop on yourself and it'll go ahead and give you one of the strongest self heals. On top of that, you'll be using Thorn Growth. Now Thorn Growth does damage and crowd control. You can drop this up to 3 times, and what it does, it pretty much does AoE damage, it slows your targets, and it provides a Thorn Charge. So these Thorn Charges stack up to 5 times, and when you auto attack, it'll pop them, dealing additional damage. So that's where a lot of your damage is going to come out of. Now, in addition to that, you're going to be taking Bramble Seed. So Bramble Seed does damage and crowd control. So not only does it do damage in the kind of in a line there to all the enemies that are in that line, it'll also knock them up and interrupt any sort of casters. So it's a really good way to burst when you put your thorns down, time your auto attacks, and throw your Bramble Seeds. It's going to do a good amount of damage. As we mentioned, your self-sustain here is going to be Spiritual Seed. And for your passive, I recommend Energetic, just because as you auto attack, you're going to make sure that you're not going to be running out of energy. You're going to be able to kind of go pack after pack. Now for your helmet, I do recommend the Adept Mage Cowl, at least a 4.1. If you have the silver for it, you can always go a little bit higher. But if you take a 4.1 here, you'll be able to take Fire Breath for your first ability, which pretty much is going to be doing damage over time over 3 seconds. It casts out in a cone, does AoE damage, and anybody in that cone will be impacted by it. For your passive, it's going to be Aggression, which is going to increase your damage and healing. Now your chest piece is going to be the Mercenary Jacket. You're going to go with Bloodlust. This allows you to heal with auto attacks over 6 seconds and up to 7 times. So if you see that you have a lot of mobs, you pick maybe fighting some boss mobs or empowered mobs, and you're going to need to sustain yourself drastically, this is something that you want to go ahead and use at that time. The cooldown is a bit long, so I'd hold on to it and make sure that you use your other forms of sustain first, but then you're going to want to pop that. Now, your next ability is going to be Balanced Mind. This is going to be your passive, and it's going to increase your damage and healing and your defense as well. For your boots, I recommend Soldier Boots. They're very cheap. You're going to go with the Rejuvenating Sprint, which is going to increase your movement speed and give you health. Also on top of that, you're going to be going with Toughness. This is just going to increase your defense. They're very cheap and they go a long way here. For your cloak or your cape, I recommend just a basic cape. You can get like a Thetford cape, and it's going to help you do a little bit more burst damage, a little bit more damage to multiple mobs, but it does get a little bit expensive. The cape itself, the basic cape, is good enough. It's going to give you your max energy and your energy regeneration. For your offhand, I recommend the Adept Torch, which is a 4.1. You're going to get cooldown rate and auto attack speed bonus. So this is great because you're going to be able to get more auto attacks out, which is going to increase your damage from your thorn charges. And if you do need to use Bloodlust to heal, you'll be able to pop those Bloodlust procs and heal up quite quickly. So for your consumables, usually I'll use the poison pots for the bigger mobs when it comes to your potions. And as far as your consumable for your food, take the catfish. This is going to go ahead and allow you to quickly heal. If you can't afford the catfish, you could try taking like the tier 5 soups. That'll definitely help you out as well. All right, so let's get ready to head out here. So I'm going to head over to a tier 6 area. I like farming in tier 6 areas rather than like tier 5, 7, or 8. Now the reason for that is that tier 5 usually tend to be closer to the city or the black portal, so there tends to be a little bit more people there. If you go out just a little bit, you'll be able to avoid a lot of gankers. Now if you go too far into like tier 7, tier 8 zones, what's going to end up happening here is you're going to end up coming across guilds, so you want to make sure that you avoid that. So make sure to take the invisibility. I went out through Thetford, and I'm going to head over to this tier 6 spot, and we're just going to go ahead and farm mobs and see exactly how much you would make without premium. All right, so we're in Widemore Hills. And what you kind of want to do, you want to go onto the outskirts, away from like open paths where you can get caught. And that's where you're going to start by farming. Now, before we get started, I will show the tracker, just so we're transparent about that. So we're going to reset the tracker here. As you can see, 0, 0, everything is zeroed out, and we're going to get started with farming. Touch some grass here real quick to break the invisibility. We're going to eat our catfish. Let's move up here. So right off the bat, there's quite a few mobs here that we can start with. We're going with our superior build just because it does really well with the amount of damage that it puts out, as well as the amount of healing. You want to make sure that you're auto attacking at all times as well. Alright, this build is pretty cheap, so we're going to make our silver right away. And just in case we do get ganked, it's not going to be a big loss. You'll always want to try to go out with the cheapest build as possible. Just in case you do get caught out by a guild or something happens, somebody stepping on your thorns. That's the main thing that you want to avoid with this build, is knowing where your thorns have been laid, because people can run over them and it'll just spawn your mount like this right here. So we know somebody's here, so we just got to be smart about it. We can move up and come back. And you're just going to keep going. We're going to see exactly how much might we make. Now, the one thing about being out in the black zone is that you always have to be alert. So if you don't like being alert and on the lookout for potential ganks, you might want to farm in safe zones. But like I mentioned, this video here is just to see exactly how much you would make on average out in the black zone. When it comes with no premium, we're going to see how much might, silver, combat fame, favor, all that good stuff. Now, if you're able to get into a tier 8 zone, you're going to be making a lot more than a tier 6 zone, because the mobs themselves just give a lot more combat fame. However, like I mentioned, it is dangerous. So that mob itself gives about 10,000 combat fame, which is great. And like I mentioned, this build is very strong. Quickly AoE the mobs down. Pick up your silver. And kind of just get moving. We're going to go back south here in a bit. Just make sure those guys left. Spread your thorns out so you don't use them all in the same spot. You can do a little bit more damage. By the time you kill the mobs, get on your mount, your catfish is going to heal you pretty quickly as well. Alright, let's go back down. So as of right now, we're doing a little bit over 1 million combat fame per hour. Now, we're only a few minutes in, so it's not as accurate. But here's 2 big mobs. Make sure we're healing. This spawns a little bit harder, but this is why we have this build. Might go down. No, we went down. Alright, so this is very dangerous here going down. Something dropped. We got 10 seconds. Hopefully nobody comes up on us. If somebody does come up, the good thing is that the mob will probably aggro. First thing you want to do when you come up is get your mount up. Just go back. So being knocked is not the worst, especially with a cheap build, because it's not going to cost you a lot. You want to try to avoid it. You can always hop back on your mount to reset the mobs. We just had two of these guys, so it's a little bit more difficult to dodge everything. All right, we're gonna heal up right away. So with those two big mobs, since they're big elites, they helped out quite a bit. As you can see here on the tracker, we're averaging about 1.6 million per hour. We're already at 25,000 silver, so we're 1/4 of what our build costs. We have 210 might. We have about 640,000 combat fame credits per hour, as well as we're getting some favor. So this is a strong way to actually gain combat fame, silver, and favor. You can buy those chests, all that good stuff. All right, we're gonna keep going on the outskirts. Hopefully we can find more of those elite mobs. I have about 1,100 item power right now, so it's not the best, it's not the worst, but it's good enough for these mobs. All right, want to make sure the ADHD doesn't kick in and we start killing stuff that we shouldn't be killing. Right. Hopefully we get a nice drop. That'll help our averages. Thorns is really good. It'll kill mobs while you focus on different ones. So we're dropping a little bit with these normal mobs right now. We're about 1.3, 1.4 combat fame per hour, making about 275,000 silver, but we haven't really had a big drop. So we're just going to keep going. And hopefully find some good mobs soon. I think this one just spawned, or I don't know if I had aggroed it before. Okay. So I bought the excellent build, so it's a little bit more expensive. You could get like the regular good or outstanding when it comes to your gear, which is just as good, and it's going to be a little bit cheaper. But just because I have a little bit more silver than the average player, I can actually invest into the excellent set. Hopefully we find something good here. Now, on the other video, what we did is we tested it out by going, let's see here. Okay, so we got somebody coming. We gotta make sure that we're aware, that we're alert. The last thing that you want to happen is that you get knocked and somebody comes across, just hops off their mount and kills you. Even though our set is not expensive, it's just a little bit of a waste of time. Oh, there's somebody here. Over there. If you do ever get that red exclamation mark when you dismount, that just means that there's somebody in the area. Okay, here we go. We got some empowered mobs here. So let's kill these and then we'll work our way there. So I do plan on making more of these videos with the statistic tracker, That way we could test out dungeons, we can test out Nightfall Abbeys, we could test out the Mist, we could test out different things and see exactly how everything kind of ranks in comparison. All right, it's a bit of a bigger pool, so just want to make sure we kill what we can as fast as we can. All right. Make sure we heal up. Don't get stunned. Don't get hit by the charge. You might reset. All right. What was that? Oh, just a little spear. So we're about 1.3 million combat fame per hour. As of right now, we're doing a little bit better than the roads with the changes. Also, we're avoiding a lot more contact. There's a lot more small groups or parties fighting for those chest areas where you would make some of the silver. Look at this, 319,000 silver. Let's go. So usually all right, 10K. So just for transparency, we're going to show how we're doing. So as of right now, we're 15 minutes in, 16 minutes in. We got 361,000 combat fame. We're averaging about 1.35, 1,350,000. We have about 74,000. We're pretty much already paid for our set. So if we die, it is what it is. We have enough silver for that. We're also getting credits because our gear is at least 100 specialization. Also, when it comes to favor or might, I'm sorry, we got in 546, about 2,000 per hour. And favor, we're at 144, which is about 525 per hour. So we're getting a little bit of everything while we're out here. We haven't really run into anybody, got any sort of danger. And we picked up an item that's going to help us make a little bit more profit. Now, when I do post this video, I am going to edit it out because I'm not going to make y'all watch through a whole hour, but I am showing the timestamps and where we're at as we go. That way, we'll definitely keep that in the video so you can see that it's accurate. Alright, so we unlock the chest. I'm not too sure if we can actually get that chest because I don't have premium. Okay. But let's talk. Alright, so to kind of summarize things, we did about an hour out here. We made 1,220,000 combat fame. Averaged that amount roughly. We got about 300,000 silver just from mobs alone, which is 3 to 4 times your set, which is great. We got another 500,000 combat fame credits, so you can respec on your destiny board. We made about 1,900 might and about 500 favor, which is great. Now, on top of that, we actually made another 457,000 silver just from, it's not including what we just used there, just from drops alone. So all in all, we made about 780,000 silver, just a little bit short than a million. Now, we could have definitely got a lot more if we didn't go into the step biome, which we did. Also, like I mentioned, you could cheapen this build. It's a 4.1 set, very simple build, and you don't have to get excellent. It'll be even cheaper. So I hope this helps you make that jump to go into the black zone. As you saw, we were out there for an hour. We didn't die. We did not necessarily come close, but we almost got into some altercations out there. We had to kind of run around a little bit. But as long as you're alert and you know that people can be coming, usually you won't die. Unless like you just get chased down by an entire guild and you just run out of places where to go. But usually you can avoid that. But overall, I hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to be testing out other areas like dungeons, the Nightfall Abbeys, and compare everything to see what might be the best way to use your time when you log into Albion. Let's say you want to focus on combat fame or silver or something in particular, you're going to know like, okay, you know, Donnie's done all the testing on this, I should go do this. I need to gather, let me go to the roads, or I need to gather, let me go and do this as well out in the open world. Or you know what, I don't really want to deal with the stress right now, I could just go into a safe zone. So we're going to go over all of that, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, join the Discord community. We have giveaways that we're going and giving 30-day premium giveaways every 2 weeks on the Discord. We're going to have giveaways here on YouTube and also on the Twitch channel. We're trying to grow a new Twitch channel, so go to twitch.tv/DonnyGGs, and on there, make sure to hit the follow button. Once we go live, we're also going to be having giveaways where you can win premium, either 30-day, 7-day premium. Also, as you watch, you're going to gain channel points, and you're going to be able to use that to unlock different things, maybe some mounts, maybe some premiums. So we'll see how that goes, but just make sure to follow. And like I mentioned, I hope you all enjoyed the video and have a great day.